Cool. Well, we're recording, so welcome everyone to another episode of Ties and Tags, the only podcast where you can fill in the rest.
It's the only podcast.
It's the only podcast. Period.
It's the first one.
This squeaky clean streaming channel where we talk about missionary junk.
It was squeaky clean.
I like your intro better though. This is the only podcast.
This is the only podcast.
We have a guest with us today.
Hi, I'm my guest.
Who are you?
Who is any of us? I'm Tanner Wilson. I was roommates with Mitchell at BYU. He was kind of like my first companion, honestly. That experience at Merrill Hall.
And you guys were roommates before either of you went off on missions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What mission did you go to?
Michigan Lansing Mission. So that's the majority of the mitten. We didn't get the dark part of the thumb. It was not the part the sun touched.
Just spoke about it. There's no missionaries there.
There are people
They
there.
just abandoned it.
I wasn't allowed to go there.
I love the iconography that the sun doesn't touch there. Like, everything the light touches is your mission. Except for that little corner of Michigan, we don't go there.
The thumb is cursed. We don't go there. That is a common thing in the mission. They'll use a mitten to like navigate cities they went to.
Huh.
How does that work?
So this is Michigan.
Oh,
This
Michigan
is
is
the
shaped
peninsula.
like this.
Got a lake.
And then, yeah.
You'll be like, you're at this
like
spot.
what part of the mitten did you serve on? And then that's like your area. And they know roughly based on that
And
shape.
then gasp if you say thumb.
As to say, how many missionaries wrote home? I just got reassigned to the pinky. You gotta know someone did it.
Yeah, I mean, if you actually went up to the middle finger, that was the bridge that connected up to like the Upper Peninsula, and that was kind of like a banishment area, so it was fitting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and introduce the game and how we're playing it.
Okay.
And then we'll start talking missions and specifically your mission. So, for those who haven't seen our previous episodes, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on the Game Boy, but doing it with the Switch, we have remapped the Joy-Cons. So, A, B, Y, and X are now your 4 directional movement. This is your D-pad.
You can't remap the joystick.
Yeah, because you can't remap the joystick. We each have, our button is jump for our character. So jump, so that is A, and this is B. And then also we have, the L button is your L and R, but associated with your character.
Oh, but I don't have it.
Yeah, but you haven't unlocked anything yet, so. Additionally, if you need to press the B button or the A button on the other remote, pressing down on the thumbstick is the button. And I think I just started a challenge.
I don't know what we're doing. Oh, it looks like we're probably gonna need to do the spinny-do around the blocks.
Do not fall off the ledges or you fail immediately.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of like life.
So, wait, you need to switch this around. We need the spinning
Oh, that's
thing,
right.
so we can collect souls.
We got one.
Oh my gosh.
You know, this is just like the mission, collecting souls.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty similar.
Are we done?
Yep.
I mean, this is pretty much like what my first area was like.
Chopping around.
Yeah, we
Jumping on your companion.
my companion was jumping on me. We had a car. We had bikes, but he made us walk. Like he wanted me to learn the area on foot.
Was that like helpful?
I mean, kinda, but he
We're
was
too late to all of them.
it was literally like his last transfer, so he didn't care. He just wanted to make it hard for me.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, if that's important, we'll have to come back to it.
Yeah. Okay, well. Cool, so let's go ahead. I'm going to let you be Luigi.
Oh yeah.
Here's the one rule with Luigi. Whenever you level up, you get to select one specific trait that you're going to upgrade, like beyond what the normal level up is.
Okay.
With Luigi, we are only leveling up his mustache.
Oh my gosh, we might have to.
Okay, well, you guys have fun with that.
To prove yourselves up. Yep, we have to do this. So I don't know what buttons map to.
Plus is the switch which person's in front.
Okay.
So technically you're not Luigi, you're whichever brother is in the back.
Okay. So what you need to do is in the top right corner, we need to switch it until it's that twisty arrow, and then you click the R,
The jump button.
and then we will move.
This is the worst way to introduce you to this game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We should go out and do combat.
The battles are a lot of fun like this actually, because
So
you
what
just
do I need
control
to do
your.
So switch plus, what is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now click L,
and
now
jump.
click R. Click it again.
Okay.
Okay.
And you gotta get 10 of them. So while they do that, I'm going to tell.
No, dang it.
I'm going to tell a story from my mission,
Okay.
because I teased this last time, and I never got around to talking about it. But I have a story. So you started in the back, like it started off how it was
There
supposed
you
to be. I have a story about
No.
potatoes on my mission. So I had a companion who's from Idaho, and anyone in the U.S. knows that Idaho's big thing is potatoes. And so this companion, so we got called by the bishop, and he's like, hey, I need you guys to come with me to visit a less active member whose husband just passed away. And he's like, essentially, they just want to feed a ton of people. And we're like, okay.
It's gonna be the elevator.
We'll just start over.
Well,
We'll start with Luigi in the back.
Yeah. Yeah. But so we're like, no, it should start with Mario.
Is it Mario in the back?
Mario's the spin. Luigi's high jump, Mario is spin jump.
Okay.
Yeah.
So click plus. Now we'll do it.
Yeah, but so essentially they're like, they just want to feed you. So we drive with the bishop for like an hour. It's like one of the only times I was ever in a car on my mission. And so we get there, and the member starts talking with my companion. And they're like, where are you from? And he's like, I'm from Idaho. What do you grow in Idaho? And he's like, which isn't a question we normally got asked. Like, I don't think I ever got asked this question. Yeah, but what do you grow? And he's like, oh, it was more like, what is your farm product? It's like more what they asked. And he's like, oh, we grow potatoes. He then spent a half hour telling stories about potatoes and how he loved potatoes, and every Christmas morning they would go out to the potato field, and I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, you're making this all up. Like, this is all nonsense coming out of nowhere. But so they finished talking to him, and they turned to me, and they're like, Elder Thorley, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I'm from Missouri. Which nobody in the Philippines knows what Missouri is,
Right.
unless they're a member that knows that Joseph Smith was like murdered by Missourians. So that's people always brought that up when I'm like, oh, I'm from Missouri. They're like, oh, you guys killed Joseph Smith, and I'm like, yeah, that was Grandpa. But so they're asking me, they're like, where are you from? Missouri. What's your farm product there? And I'm like, what's our farm product in Missouri? Like,
what?
I'm like, I don't know what we grow in Missouri. I was like, do we grow things? I was like, I grew in Missouri, but I'm not far. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? My companion sat there and made up stories about potatoes for a half hour. I can sit here and I can make up stories. So they're like, what's your farm product? And I go, corn. And I then proceeded to make up stories about corn for the next half hour. All similar to my companion's stories, just replacing potatoes with corn.
Oh my gosh. Did they eat it up?
They ate it up.
Very much.
The problem is, when the story ended, they go, oh, you know what? We grow corn. And so they went away, and they came back. And this was after we had eaten like a whole meal. They came back with this plate of 10 pieces of corn.
Plus. There we go.
Just 10 pieces of steamed corn. And I'm just like, whoa. And my companion turns to me, he's like, you did this to yourself. I'm not eating any of this. So I had to eat 10 pieces of corn. And like, you eat corn on the cob and here, the corn they have in the Philippines, they don't like boil it like they do in America. They grill it on a barbecue. They don't put like butter or salt on it. It's literally just like roasted on a barbecue. And then like you're essentially just eating burnt corn is what it is. And so I have to eat 10 pieces of burnt corn. And I'm like, great, I made it through.
What is combat?
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, good. Okay.
Okay.
All you need to know is the R button is jump, and you use that to dodge attacks, and you have to like time attacks
He just
too.
hid in a pillar. So I'm Mario. I'm just gonna do a solo attack because I don't remember what happens in this fight. So if you like time the button right when you're about to hit him.
Does extra damage. So
What? Oh, and you have to dodge. So jump. Oh, it was me twice.
yeah,
So now you click your R button. So I think we might need to hit the top pillar and break that, so he has nowhere to run once we break the other pillar.
Yeah.
Also, Luigi's incredibly weak because
We only upgrade
he
his
has a
mustache.
sweet stash and nothing else.
Yeah. So we go
Jump.
out.
There
We
you
go out to our car after I eat my 10 pieces of corn, and while we go out there, they send their son, and they drop off this sack. They lean it against the car that it's literally this tall, this wide, and it's filled with corn. So
What?
because my companion was telling
not
all of
okay.
these stories about potatoes and his love for potatoes, I got caught up making up stories about how much I love corn, and I then was gifted a giant bag of corn because I love corn and corn is what I grow.
It's corn.
Yeah,
Big clump of
of
nubs. That is juice.
yeah. So that's my corn story. The bishop took one look at that and he was like, "Yeah, elders, you're not keeping this. We're giving this to poor members of the ward." And I was like, "Please, like that's fantastic." So
I want it!
So we went around. So that's my corn story. I'm sure it's a lot better when I'm not distracted. But, yeah.
It's a great.
So if you click the
I
R button
think-
right before you jump on him, you do some extra
I
damage
think
too.
Luigi's just that weak. I'm going to be honest. Because you're only dealing 2, and on a normal enemy, you're dealing like 10.
We'll see.
So I think Luigi's just weak right now.
Valid.
Try it. Jump on him and click right before you hit it. There you go.
There you go. You got it. So the mustache we decided was luck. Is that what we think it
I
is?
think so.
I'll look it up.
We could try doing a bros attack after this one. So, your mission was in English.
Yes.
Was there any sort of like slang learning curve that you did not expect?
So, Michigan is a union state, but there are a lot of Confederates from Tennessee that are snowbirds. So it was one of the most southern areas I've ever been to.
Really?
Even though it is prime Midwest. So like there were actually Confederate flags everywhere. So like if you understand like southern slang, like you'd understand Michigan. So Michigan people are affectionately referred to as Michiganders, and the people who just kind of like are more humble circumstances are just referred to as ganders, and they will often there's like generations of untreated mental health issues, and there's just a lot of oversharing and rambling that happens, and that's called a gander rant. And you will hear phrases
There's
like
names for it?
you'll hear phrases like I'm gonna up salt crick in a teacup, or I gotta head down to the Walmart to get a pickle jar for my cigarette butts, and that's just like that just makes sense.
Okay.
You know you're in a real town in Michigan if you see the beer, wine, liquor lotto. And there's just all manner of... So, okay, the little geography lesson here. So, the Mitten is most of Michigan. But then there's also Tennessee, which is southern Michigan. And then there's the UP, which is Canadian Michigan.
And that's the
And
little strip of land
that we
on the
got
outside
in
of the lake.
exchange for Ohio. I don't know how that worked out, but
What
yes.
a deal.
Indeed. And so there's a lot of cultural influences from the Midwest, from the South, and from this weird wilderness northern area that should technically be its own state.
So we're doing a bros attack. If
Okay.
there's a big green bee that flashes, click your R button.
Okay.
I think it happens after my thing, like in the middle.
Okay.
I also might fail my thing, so you don't. Oh wait, no, we don't need to do a bros attack because
He's not out.
yeah, he's not out yet.
We got to get him out and then do a bros attack.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Which one do I hit? Oh, I did this one.
Yeah, there is slang, and it's not universal, but you just know that like there's Ganderese. It's its own dialect of English, and it doesn't always make sense.
So take a gander has an entirely different. Meaning
If you're taking it, no, you don't take
Oh
a
my gosh,
gander. A
kidding,
gander
I
will
love
take you for a ride, and they will tell you about. You'll ask them one straightforward question, and they will overshare for 2 hours, and you will end up talking about everything. But you know you've made it in with them, like you know that they trust you if they bring out their phone, because they'll start flipping through their gallery, and if they trust you enough to show you like dog pics or talk about that one injury they had from the job site or something, like it doesn't matter what topic you started talking about. If they bring out the phone, you are friends for life. You have made it, and like it's honestly like a metric,
Yeah,
like you would write down, and
Like in your area book, this person
like,
shared this much with us.
phone, yes, good, yeah, like
I
that's
can just see you going through area book in a new area, and you're like, oh, there's a phone person from 2 years ago. We
basically.
We've been meeting with this person for 2 months, and they haven't shown us their phone. Like, oh, we dropped it. I'm sorry.
There were a couple types of people in the area book. So like there were those that would just love to talk, but they could not listen for the life of them.
That is. Do you have an example of a favorite lesson, wackiest lesson? We'll give 2 seconds. We gotta focus on our
Yeah,
bros
we gotta
attack.
do a bros attack.
So it's gonna be A. I already missed it. Never mind. I can never time it right. But you can do yours if you want.
Yeah, do a bros attack. Do a bros attack.
So click L. Go to bros. But you got it. Yeah, there you go. So it's gonna be B first. So click on it. Do it on the guy, and there's a big green.
Now, yeah.
I
Good
missed
job.
it too. I don't know why I get too antsy.
I'm loving the idle dances though.
I know.
Like Mario's having way too much fun.
I love the animations. In this
Bonking
game.
this dude. Like a favorite lesson? Dude, I don't even know. Everybody has a dog, and the very lucky few have a cat. But no, I take that back. There's never one cat. There's at least 2.
0 or 8.
There is between 2 and 8.
Yeah.
There is never anything less than, nothing more than, without the government getting involved.
Wait, so does that imply that the government gets involved for people to have more than 8 cats?
If they have more than 8, you will usually get like animal control or somebody to like save the animals because there'll be like too much
Got
clutter.
it this time.
Bros attack.
I'm still doing it too early?
Yeah. You need the icons up for you too.
That is the icon. Like, I guess I'm just like hitting it before it even appears. Maybe I'm.
And this is just like a door approach, you know? You gotta time your message with the type of person you're talking to, because sometimes you think you're going in for a bros attack and it should have been a solo.
I do. I don't know if you have any favorite wacky means of. There we go. And you can do it again. There you go. Wacky ways of contacting. But I had a companion that he would, like, when we passed by people going the opposite direction on the road, he'd drop his Book of Mormon on the ground and he'd go, "Oh no, my favorite book!" And the best part is that, like, as soon as he'd bend down and pick it up and he'd look at me and go, and no one ever cared.
Oh no. I always had a fanny pack with me. That's how I carried the area phone and like our pass along card. And so.
Oh, you're out of. You cannot run.
This sounds like a good time to mention I looked up what the mustache does. The only effect the mustache has is it'll give you a discount in the shop.
Are you serious?
That's all it does.
We can't just do mustache.
No,
You're
we
gonna
have
die.
to. We have to. It's tradition.
I want to beat this game.
Why would you do that? We're having such good conversation.
I just love the fact that we're not coordinated enough to do a bros attack, so this battle is clearly going
Hey,
on
we
like
got
10
one.
times as long. We got one, but it wasn't even on the guy, it was on the pillar.
Well, you know what?
What?
The syrup gives us. It gives us bros points.
It makes
Yeah,
us-
recover 20 bros.
Sometimes on a mission, you.
You just gotta share some syrup with your
We
bros.
just got down the syrup.
I don't think I trust myself to. Wow.
Thank you for the syrup, my bro.
I'm always packing. Didn't you always have syrup for your companion?
How
Do a
much-
bros attack. Oh.
How much for a gallon? Just yikes.
You should heal.
Yeah, if we get one more of those. You know what? Luigi should heal us because I have attack and you
Actually,
don't.
no, this is a great game because you take drugs to feel good, and that is very common in Michigan. It is like the meth capital of the United
I thought
States.
you were going to say that's very common on the mission.
And, well, no, I mean, we took a lot of.
I took a lot of Pepto.
Oh, Pepto. I had
It's called
I
running
had
belly.
2
Makeup.
ear infections on the mission.
Yeah.
And it was only ever as a lesson. Like, I have been blessed with generally good health, but when I was not being a good missionary, I would get sick.
Okay, I'm gonna
Heal us.
attack.
No,
You
gotta
heal us.
Okay.
Does it heal both people at once?
Nope. There's other items that do that, but we only have individual.
Oh, no, Luigi.
Mario's free.
See, and the worst thing is that like, oh no!
Oh,
So
Luigi,
when one person's down, you can still dodge and like keep them alive, but
Just
your
dragging their corpse.
your jump is delayed.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh my god.
We don't have to do
You have to do this free thing again. You totally do.
Oh my gosh.
Any relation to hee I don't know. What other kind of missionary stuff do you guys talk about?
Whack things happen. on
This is
the
our
mission.
third one, so I wouldn't say that we have a system. I guess
Is there a type of story you want to?
what's the craziest
Here.
thing that happened to you on your mission? And while
And
you
if you-
while you tell, I can take
That's
over.
such- That is.
If you need more
Sure.
specifics, it could be what most crazy tracting interaction.
No,
Craziest
I got this
lesson,
covered. You guys
craziest
chat.
food.
No, I'm laughing because that's not a good question for Michigan. There's not a normal
I
day.
forgot you could use some toys.
forgot
what's
about
what's
that.
the most normal day you had on your mission then?
I mean, honestly, it was probably in my fifth area. I had 6 areas, and I think it was my 5th one. That was the one I spent the most time in.
Okay.
Are we sharing?
You can't. Don't
It's
do
up
it.
to you.
Harrison,
Yeah.
Michigan. There's more cows than people. I bailed like.
Do they brag about that?
It's almost a cry for help when I mention it. But
There's more cows than people. Help us.
the ward mission leader is like the dairy farmer in town, and we would actually help him herd the cows, and
Oh really?
and whenever we would do service for him. But like there was one day, just like a whole Saturday, he was like, "Come help me move some stuff on the farm." We're like, "Sure." We get there at like 10 a.m. and we're there till probably like 4 or 5 in the afternoon because he had us bale almost 11,000 pounds of hay from like his supplier into his barn for his animals to prep them for the winter.
Oh my god.
That is the most missionary experience ever. Like, I've got a service project for you.
Yeah, and
it'll
it took-
take an hour.
It took all day. There was another. So my first area, there was a guy who wanted us to do some service, and he was not active and not super accountable. I don't know if we define terms here, but accountable is like how well you can like handle yourself as a human, and he was lower on that list. This dude had like a dozen heart surgeries, and I don't know. He was held together with staples and duct tape and marijuana, and he not a bad guy, but just not all the way there. And he had us stack cords of wood. So I don't know if you have ever like cut logs before, but like you quarter a log.
Is this for like firewood?
Well, so he has his own winery. He has his own distillery operation.
Ah.
Because in the Doctrine and Covenants it says that you can use your own wine for sacraments, so it's okay if members make their own wine. He doesn't understand the updates to that council that have happened in the last 200 years, but you know, whatever, it's Michigan. Everybody has fruit, so why not make your own wine? So he had tons of raspberries, and the grapes and raspberries just grow everywhere on vines down there in Pawpaw. Pawpaw is actually the name of one of the fruits they turn into wine. There's just so much of it, they named a town after it. And we stacked probably like 100 cords of wood for him, which it was another, like, yeah, we'll come help you out before lunch. And then he gave us like Lunchables and Capri Suns for lunch.
Nice.
Actually, you know what? No. That was a different guy. This guy took us to the local chicken shack, and he had it in with the people at the chicken shack. And they did not even ask him to pay, because he's been going there for the last like 30 years. He's a regular. He goes like every Thursday. They know he's gonna show up for lunch, and he's gonna buy one of everything.
All right.
They just have it ready for him. So we walked in, and he always brings missionaries, and we went home with like, you know, those foam takeout containers, like 3 of those full of fried chicken, fries, coleslaw, whatever. That was food for like a week because of it. Didn't share a message, didn't have a prayer, didn't talk about our area, didn't talk about how he's doing. We did service, and he gave us lunch for the week.
All right.
And sometimes that's missionary work in Michigan. It's just a heck ton of service and a lot of food.
I have a question for both of you guys, and I have a
Okay.
story to give you time to think about it.
Okay.
First, bros. Oh my gosh, why am I doing it too early?
Okay, I love how you failing does 4 damage, and me succeeding does 3.
Well, I'm out of bros points now.
Who's the senior companion here?
So,
Let me
okay,
rephrase that. The game is Mario and Luigi. Who do you think is the senior companion?
That's valid.
what is
Elder
the...
Mario and Sister Mario. Sister Luigi.
I know that you have stories because it's just how it works when you're on missions and you go to different areas.
Yeah.
What is the craziest fast and testimony thing someone bore?
Oh my gosh.
And your word of wisdom interpretation just reminded me of mine. There's one guy, and he was like the calling's called, where like you have the keys to the church because you clean it, or you're in charge of like assigning people to clean it.
The word building coordinator.
Supervisor or something? Coordinator, that's it.
Facilities,
So he
something?
would go up, not every month, but just about every month. It was him and some other guy that like had a written, prepared testimony that was always something crazy too. But this guy, he went up there and he took the Doctrine and Covenants with him, and I was like, it's going to be something normal. And this guy had never been to our church. He sat next to me, like he saw a missionary, and he's like, I'm going to sit next to this guy. Like I didn't see those guys in the street. He's never been to our church. He's just like, I just felt a need to come to your chapel today. And I was like, that's great. Let's hear it. And then this guy stands up for testimony to me, not the guy sitting next to me. And I'm like, okay, please be something normal. There's someone here.
Please let this be a small
And this
field
guy
trip.
goes up there in Jamaica. No way.
I think fast and testimony meetings are notoriously horrible as a missionary because anything can and will be said.
I think we can move him up.
It is a big
So-
issue in our church culture. We need to slightly address our
And it is being
expectations
addressed
for that.
But so I increased my power to keep us alive and defense. And
I can increase our
Luigi has a
mustache
sweet stash.
to increase our
In
budget.
missionary speak, he just became the district leader.
So this guy stands up, brings his Doctrine and Covenants. He's like, I
Hold on.
love.
Mario has 13 on his mustache. Let's note Luigi. Oh, I don't
You
know.
can't even look.
Ah! Okay, go ahead.
This guy stands up. He says, I love the word of wisdom. I love it. D&C section 89 says this, and he starts reading directly from it. And I'm like, oh, that's great. He's gonna read from the scriptures. He's gonna bear his testimony. He's like, it says tobacco needs to be used skillfully, and it's talking about like applying it for like bruises on cattle. And he's
Right.
like, burning is a skill. People ask me all the time on the street, don't you go to church? Why are you smoking? It's because of the word of wisdom. I love the word of wisdom. People say the word of wisdom. Why can't we go forward?
I thought we were supposed to jump on this thing.
He's gone.
Oh, wait, do we need to do this?
Oh,
Okay.
that does not look that tall.
How does that make Mario jump higher?
He's springy. He's elastic.
He's holding
That's why
on.
he can hold water too.
I can hold water.
Yeah. So he goes like, the word of wisdom says, stay away from strong drink. Oh, whoops. And he goes, oh,
It's
this
an
guy's-
evil pear and an evil Yoshi.
I think it's a bean, because we're in the bean kingdom.
Like an evil lima bean.
Oh, you gotta keep jumping on that guy because he gets shorter every time you hit him, and you can't jump over him otherwise. No, okay, that might be fine. He goes, it says stay away from strong drink. And like vodka and like, overdraft rum, like those are strong drinks. Beer, it's mild. People ask me all the time, don't you go to church? Why are you drinking beer? It's because of the word of wisdom. The word of wisdom says stay away from hot drinks. Hot soup, hot chocolate, let it cool first. People give their kids hot drinks all the time. It doesn't say anything about tea and coffee. I love the word of wisdom. And the guy sitting next to me, he's never been to our church before, and he's like, this guy's crazy, right? Yeah, he is.
Good job doing it.
You know it's
We
great
don't need
when,
this.
Okay.
when the investigating person can
I know.
tell that the active member is wrong.
Okay, so I have a fantastic sacrament meeting story.
Let's hear it.
So,
In order to, so you don't. Let's jump on this guy. Yeah.
the combat is the best part of this. I don't care about beating the game, I just like doing the battles.
That's valid.
So we're in church, obviously, fast and testimony meeting, and this guy walks in. Never seen him before, but like he just comes in, middle of fast and testimony meeting, walks straight up to the pulpit.
Does he sit at a pew first?
No,
Just straight in.
straight in. He goes straight forward. Now,
I
in
know
the
what I'm here
Philippines,
for.
there's this culture among members of the church that have been members for longer, where when missionaries originally came, they didn't have them learn the language, and so they just spoke in English, and people understood, but ultimately it's better to just learn English. So there's this culture among older members to try and speak English at the pulpit, because that's what the church was when they were young, and so that's how they feel the Spirit, supposedly. You gotta hover over.
Yeah, so
it.
plus.
So,
And then, yeah, go.
but when that happens, most of the time, I'm not convinced they even know what they're saying. But even more
Plus
importantly, the only people that understand are me and my companion, if my companion is also a native English
Click
speaker.
L. There you go.
So,
L one more time and then click R.
yeah.
Oops.
And then you gotta time your jump.
Yeah.
So, we're sitting there, and this guy goes up, and he goes, "Brothers and sisters,"
Then plus.
and he does this in English. Thank heavens, only me and my companion know what this is. This is the same companion, actually, as
Plus
the
one.
potato story. Me
Oh,
and him
really?
had a lot of fun together. That was a fun companionship. So he goes, "Brothers and He goes, brothers and sisters, we believe in being honest, true, chaste, benevolent, and virtuous, and in doing good to all."
Oh no! Oh, my bad.
He
Didn't mean
goes,
to jump on you.
You're okay.
he goes, "Last night I was arrested from false charges, and if it wasn't for the valiant efforts of my son, I would not be here today." Says this in English. And we're sitting there like, "Did your son break you out of prison?" And then he proceeds to say, "Not all leaders in the church are called of God, but your bishop here in this ward," which I'd like to note he's not a member of, he does not know the bishop, "is called of God, and he is here to lead us to salvation in the modern days." And we're just like, what? So he finishes up, he sits down, he leaves. Or he gets out off the pulpit and he leaves. Presumably because he's on the run. We're just like, what is this? We
Yeah,
talked to the
definitely.
bishop, and the bishop's like, "Yeah, I do know."
definitely.
The bishop's like, "Yeah, I do know that guy. He was excommunicated. He showed up once or twice trying to convince me to get my records reinstated. But when I reached out to his old ward, I found out what was going on, and I didn't do anything. So he thinks I'm getting him reinstated, which I'm not. So we're just
Oh.
like, oh, that's nasty. But I know the
Yeah,
guy's
the
name
switch
now.
move.
Yeah, so I know his name now.
Okay.
I transfer.
Oh.
My next area, we go and there's this guy that's kind of harassing the sister missionaries, and I was in a leadership position at the time, and so the mission president had me deal with it. So I'm meeting with the stake leaders, and I'm dealing with this thing, and they're like, "This is just like brother so-and-so," and I'm like, "No way. Like, that's the guy." And so apparently, so I literally transferred into that guy's home ward. And I found out all about him, and he was this crazy guy. He was a thief trying to steal things, but like he was trying to convince them all that he wasn't a thief. And it was a whole thing, and it's like the 60-year-old guy to it, like it's an old man. But like they caught him on security cameras, so it was a whole thing. But so that is my favorite sacrament meeting stories is I was arrested, accused of false charges, which is words taken directly off of like every Joseph Smith video the church has ever put out. And he's like, "If it wasn't for the valiant efforts of my son, I wouldn't be here today."
Man thinks he's Joseph.
So,
Where am I supposed to go?
we need to spin into that tornado, but I'm a little confused about
Here's
what
what you do.
what do we need to get by that block?
Jump up onto the green grass.
I can't go that high.
Even with the Luigi jump?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
He might be able
Well, I don't think we can go. We might be able to. Maybe we just missed it last time. We might be able to spin into it again.
It feels like you're supposed to be on the far left and go directly to the right.
Oh, okay. One more try. It seems like we're in it. Is there some other puzzle in here that we missed? You want JD to take the reins while you think of the fast and
Yeah,
testimony
you can tell a
story?
story.
So there.
Never mind, take it back.
This happens every time.
So without getting into too many specifics, there was my third area was Gaylord, spelled Gaylord, and everyone laughs.
I remember those
area.
emails.
Yep, everyone laughs at that. And there was actually a really cool miracle that happened.
Spin from here.
So it was winter in Michigan. There was a polar vortex. We got snowed into our apartment. Like 13-foot snowdrift blocked the door. Like we actually couldn't leave. So we went, like when we did go out, we had snow pants and snow was like up to our nipple in snow. It was tall. And we got into Magic the Gathering.
Which every missionary seems to do for some reason.
And so
we played D&D on Magic Mission.
yeah, same. So that's where I got into D&D, and Magic was stuck in Gaylord in a blizzard.
Really?
And we were like, hey, I don't feel super effective as a missionary, but also like we can't knock doors because they're covered in snow. So what do we do? And it was like, well, we could study, but we'd already studied for like 13 hours. So it was like, well, let's go play Magic. I'll teach you about it. So we went to the church to like build a deck online, and like we were there just long enough that our P day ended, and we got a call from some members that they were like stuck in their house. They needed to get shoveled out. The plow hadn't made it over to their place yet, so we took our shovels that we had, and we were only like 4 minutes away. So we drove over to their place, and we started shoveling them out, and I mean it was locked. Like we were not gonna make a dent. And
Did you have your own shovels, or did you have?
yeah, we had to. They were mission supplied.
Really?
Yeah, it was just we weren't even supposed to be out. Like we definitely weren't supposed to be playing Magic. But because we were in the right place at the right time, there was a guy with a snowplow who saw us trying to shovel them out.
Okay.
And he came over and cleared off their drive in like 2 seconds. We were chipping away at this thing for like 30 minutes and not making a dent. And this guy comes over and cleans it out in 2 seconds. And we all, like, everyone that was there thinks that was a miracle. The person that we were digging out was actually the friend of a member in the ward, and they were so grateful for that experience. They took us out to pizza, and they asked what we do as missionaries. We shared the first discussion with them over pizza, which, I don't know if you know, in Michigan, pizza is like the thing. Like, apparently missionaries have never had pizza before, so everyone takes you out for pizza.
Is it the thing as in like,
Is it like how
people become well trained at making good pizza, or is it like Caparero is the thing in Utah?
Is it like how
Yeah,
sister
no, like
missionaries
there are
only get
pizza
fed
places.
salad?
Uh-huh.
There are like pizza buffets, like Pizza Hut used to be, where they'd have like a whole salad bar and everything.
Okay.
It's like that. There's pizza places everywhere, and they will always take you out for pizza, like you've never had it before.
Dang.
So every time anybody does anything, it's like, oh, I'll take you out for pizza. And so we got them as like, they were interested people. They wanted to learn about the gospel because we were playing Magic in a blizzard. We happened to be at the right place at the right time, so we could get free pizza and pick them up as investigators at the same time. And then, after we'd been teaching them for like a month, the family that was like best friends with them
Oh no.
went up for fast and testimony meeting and basically announced that the branch president was wrong, the Relief Society president, who was his wife, was wrong, and that basically all the leadership in the church didn't know what they were doing, and they were like being horrible ministers and like ruining it for these people that we had just taught.
Oh my gosh.
I'd
They
like to
didn't
point
have-
out that the leaders of the church actually don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
all human.
We're all volunteer, right? Like you don't. There's no
I didn't go to school for
campaigning.
this.
There's no like training, really. There's a handbook, and you just kind of figure it out.
And we don't even use that.
Yeah, that's more like guidelines. And so it was a mother and a daughter, and then there was this whole family. And I guess this family were snowbirds, so they would basically come back every couple of years, stir up trouble, and then go to Idaho until things calmed down, and then they had friends again. Then they'd come back, then they'd stir up trouble,
What?
and then they'd leave again. So we were there when the stirring up was happening, and we didn't realize that, and so they hijacked Fast and Testimony meeting and basically dropped earbuds on the floor.
Hey. Hey,
Do you want
happens,
JJ? I don't.
Where'd it go?
It just rolled.
Oh.
Wait until like right when it appears on screen.
And so we had this awesome miracle. We were being vaguely obedient, and so the Lord gave us a vague miracle. And that's a principle
Whoa.
you should understand as a missionary. But
Go to the grass.
we thought these people were super solid, and then their friends decided to like turn the whole branch against each other.
Oh man.
And so their fast and testimony meeting was basically calling out all the people they disagreed with, airing out old laundry, and making it super awkward for these people we were teaching, and basically like antied themselves, and then like it got to the point where we could not like go minister to people because they were picking sides in the branch. And it was like, you're either on this family's side or you're not.
Dang.
And if you're not on their side, then you don't deserve to be here. And it got to the point where the mission president had to like come in on the following Fast and Testimony Sunday and like tell them that he was closing the area.
Really?
Like, it got so bad. Like, so here's the fun thing about Fast and Testimony meetings. They can be so uplifting. They can be so inspiring for people you're teaching and even for the missionaries.
It's going a straight line.
But there are times where they can like destroy all the hard work you've done, and they can be a means for your mission president to declare a hard truth when people need to hear it. And that happened. And so we closed that.
Wait, the mission president came during Fast and Testimony meeting?
And he closed the area.
Oh, really?
As his talk. He closed the area.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing about missions that's good to talk about, is when you haven't gone on a mission, you don't realize that there is a lot of drama in the church, and there's people that fight, and there's a lot of crazies. Like,
Yeah, usually if it's not your calling, you don't learn about it.
yeah,
But as a missionary, you get everything.
you get everything. Yeah.
And it's not all great. A lot of, like, you will be very frustrated with members as a missionary.
But
because-
also, I wouldn't say that that's a deterrent from doing your job.
No.
It may be frustrating in the moment, but 5 years later, when you're on our podcast, it's just funny stories.
Right.
We're sitting there and I'm cursing this guy that's gone up and testified about breaking out of jail, but in reality, it didn't make a big difference. If they were going to accept the gospel, then they're going to do that with or without crazy people in the church. They're going to
True.
recognize and turn to you, so they're crazy, right? Like,
It's true.
that sort of stuff happens. And at the end of the day, you just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, agency is a beautiful thing.
And an
people,
ugly thing.
And people are going to use it however they want. It's really our job to invite people and to share the message if they want to hear it, but we can't convince them to change. All we can do is present the message to people who want to change and then help them on that change.
Did we just kick up a pterodactyl's egg?
No, it is hoo-hoo.
It's a bland
Block,
map.
hoo-hoo stone?
Don.
Did we just kick up a pterodactyl's hoo-hoo block?
No, it's a
Don.
Blanabadon?
That's a pterodactyl.
Blablanodon.
I think the piece.
Nobody was alive during
Oh.
dinosaur times. We don't know how.
Blanodons.
Did they name themselves, JJ?
Have you seen Gravity Falls? Okay, good.
Have you seen Amphibia?
I've seen a little bit of it,
Have
but
you seen
I've
Big
seen
City Greens?
I've seen a little bit
I've
of
not.
that, but that one seems a lot dumber.
Oh, Big City Greens is great. It's the same humor as Gravity Falls, but like in the day-to-day life stuff, like The Simpsons.
Okay.
And they're
Raven
actually,
Yellow. They all have Johnny.
I just listened to all the. I found a podcast where they took the audio commentary that Alex Hirsch did of Gravity Falls when they made like the DVD set. They just uploaded it as a podcast.
nice.
And like, I was like, I don't need to watch the show. I know it from heart. So I listened to that during work this week. I just listened to the podcast. So.
So the thing he's sitting on is an egg?
That's a skull.
It's a happy egg. It was an egg!
Googwa.
That is not your baby.
Googwa.
Maybe it's like a bird crocodile kind of situation. Like the
Oh,
pterodactyl scavenges.
That's right. We came up here trying to get hammers.
We went into the rocks to make the
That's a
hammers.
shock. Talk about one crazy. No, it isn't. Egg.
Crazy egg!
Can we fight this? Do we
Oh.
get to fight this guy?
Oh, he just like
Fight
yeeted
this
the-
child!
He just yeeted the pterodactyl.
Dang.
Pater.
Googwa.
We get to fight this guy, right? I want to fight him.
I think he's
He's
a
a
friend.
faker.
He is-
He's not a baby. Look at his goatee.
Okay, bros attack. Let's do
Dude
this.
was born with.
We're
a
doing
full
only bros
goatee.
attacks this battle.
Okay, but
On number 3, yeah.
on number 3?
Yeah, 'cause
So,
it-
okay,
'cause
because
there's
I
a
do it too
little-
early because of the. I
there's a
think
li-
that's what I'm used to.
There's a little flashy light thing.
Uh-huh. Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
I don't think it will give you the color on this one. I think it's
that's
just.
fine.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. No, we don't need the button. We just.
I think that's.
There's a flashy
I don't
light.
know what the attacks are.
It's like the Oops, all berries, but like from heck.
He's short now.
He's like a little dog.
Waggling.
Are you just talking about how Mario's like a sociopath? Like
In this game or just in general?
well, like he's like, hey, look, an unarmed animal that's probably just defending its territory.
Oh, hey, have you
Crush, victory dance.
have you read the original game manual of the NES Mario Bros. Game? So, Bowser.
Oh my goodness.
Are you okay, sir?
Let's-
Can I attack the rock?
Attack the rock, yeah.
Happy
Because the rock will fling at him, right?
Probably. Science.
Sure.
It's science. Oh,
Now he's tall.
oh, okay. So
He's confident because he. No, he.
When his mouth goes up, he's shooting at you.
You jumped on the rock.
Dwayne.
He's tall again.
Is that good or bad?
Oh, little dude's big again.
Yeah.
Remember that movie? So,
Civil War?
yes. Bonus points for you, Jake. Extra mustache, so for you.
Yeah, extra mustache.
Mustache.
Luigi needs extra mustache, let me tell you.
Like they just murdered a newborn dragon and
We
did
did.
a victory dance on his house.
Welcome to the world.
You should see our passport.
Okay. Did you guys ever have a time on your mission where like the mission could not supply everything you needed?
I didn't have running water in one apartment, and we were supposed to have that, and it was fun. We collected rainwater. We set up trash cans.
What?
We set up trash cans underneath like the gutter, and we filled up with water, and that's what we used for showering and doing dishes. We did have good drinking water.
Yeah, we did have to take bucket showers, but it wasn't like the longest stretch of time where we didn't have running water was 5 days.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think we had any like supply problems like that, but
3 transfers.
members would always give us their leftover food storage.
Oh, really?
And that
Oh,
was
he's
our,
not dead.
That was
He
our
was-
main food source.
he
It was
was
reverse on my mission. The
a fairy
missionaries
the whole
gave the
time.
members their leftover food storage when they went home.
Oh, it's Prince
Yeah, that was-
Peasley.
Wait, Prince Peasley was the dragon inside the egg.
Cheers to
under
your
the
mustaches.
Yes, especially yours, green one.
The pterodactyl's back.
What voice
So he's not
does
back.
the Blanabadon?
That's incredible, man! It's got a toned voice. What's the sticky pink like do? It's moving! Now, boys, don't touch that stuff.
Prince Peasley had.
Are those all faces?
Those are hoo-hoo stones.
That's what the
Who?
spirits are in?
Yeah, that's where they.
So that
If you are exposed to them for too long, you turn into a
I'm skipping the story.
child
So-
dinosaur. I don't really know.
but he's also a bean
He,
man.
he's
I
he's
wanna
on our
play as
side.
him.
He's like the best character in this game.
Is that a noodle?
I want to play as that guy.
It's like
He's like Green
it's
Goblin.
like a blue macaroni.
it's like a beret.
like a hat?
I
He
don't
gave
know.
me a flower!
Whoa, Prince Peasley!
It's a rose.
Why would a rose match green? Wouldn't it match Mario?
Why
He
is
saw
a
your stash.
bean man a dragon? I don't know.
I think it might have told us those things.
Did Luigi just fall in love?
I feel like a
He
gander
did.
could have
Everyone
made
falls in
this
love with
game.
Prince Peasley.
Good.
So if we want to go back to the top of the mountain, we talk
If you
to the
go to
Bla-
Michigan and do
Blanabadon.
the drugs, this game will make sense.
All right.
Let's go get our hammers. Here, you can take over. I just played for like
Did I ever
So-
tell you about the time I got saved from a guy who was high on meth by 2 other dudes who were doing a drug deal?
No.
Yeah, that was fun. So that was in my second area, Jackson, and we were going through our digital area book and looking at gray dots or people that used to be members, just making sure
Forget
all
that you
these.
guys had phones.
Yeah.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
We were looking for some members that should have been somewhere, and we're crossing this intersection. It's fall, so it's getting dark at like 5, but we're supposed to be out till like 9 or 10, and so I was like, we got plenty of time. We had dinner, we went out, and oh heck yeah, we got hammers.
Yeah.
I love how they gave us 2, but they made 1.
And they hammered it with their faces.
They did.
Their little
They are.
hammer hats.
They're not the Hammer Bros. They're the Hammer Peas. Making
Beans.
Hammer beans.
Beans. So we were looking for this house, and it was dark, and there's a street lamp on, and there's this really weird shaped like triangle intersection, and we're trying to cross to one side, equilateral, and there's these two dudes that are like hiding behind a car at this like abandoned automotive dealership, and you can tell there's some kind of deal going on. They're wearing shades at night, and you know, it's whatever. Like, they're not the people we're talking to, so we don't really care. And then there's this big, like 6'5", shirtless dude, shaved, buzzed head, and he's just barking. Like, he's like tweaked on meth. And he's like patrolling this intersection, just barking at things, rambling off about the people who wronged him 10 years ago, and I was gonna get him back. Like, you know when you're like in the shower and you like run through it and like an argument in your head? Like that, but like on meth.
Was he doing both sides of the argument?
Yeah, probably. And he's just like barking and doing his thing, and we're trying to like beeline away from his line of sight and like get to the street we were going to find this house. And it was like out of a horror movie. Like, you could just tell when he looked at us, and then he like huffed. Like, he just like snorted in our direction. We're like, we're gonna die. This dude is gonna like beat us up, or something's gonna happen. And he's like sauntering over, shirtless and whatever.
I need to show you a trick. I don't know your mapping.
Oh, you made Mario mad.
Oh no, I'm using the joystick. Sorry, we need to switch to.
Switch to jumping.
Switch to jumping, and I think Luigi needs to be in front. So click plus. Switch until you have the hammer.
Switch what?
And click L.
Yeah.
There you go. And now, now click R. What? You're supposed to like be able to go underground right here.
I don't think we have that ability.
Oh, maybe we have to unlock it. Darn. Never mind.
So this big shirtless, scary white meth head is walking towards us, and he's like, "What are you guys doing here?" Like out of a cartoon. Like, this dude is just butch, and we're just missionaries. We're just here to like, you know, talk to people about Jesus and stuff. And you know, if you want, he's like, "You can't be doing that in my area." And I was like, "Oh, well, sorry. We were just looking for some people who go to our church over there. I think, pretty sure they live over there."
Click plus, then click L. And then R.
There we go.
Here you go.
And excuse me. And he's like interrogating us, and we're like scared we're gonna die or something. And then the two dudes across the street in this like weird drug deal are just like, "Hey, yo, Ryan, leave him alone. That's church people." No idea who those guys were, but they could tell who we were. And that we were like, "Thank you," and they're like, "Yeah, we ain't got time for your message right now, but you guys are cool. Thanks for doing what you do." And it was like, understandable. We're just looking for somebody who goes to our church. Don't worry about it.
Smack me with the hammer. Never mind, that was two.
Now we gotta smack it with a hammer.
Black.
And then Ryan just kind of like saunters off and goes in. He goes inside one of these houses.
Jump. Just keep jumping.
And we
I'll jump.
You gotta do
Click L.
You gotta switch abilities.
Never mind, it's dead. That block will keep going back and forth for us with the coins, but it's all good.
And he goes into the house that in our planner was the house we were looking for.
Oh no.
And we're just like, yeah, I guess we're done for tonight. So we went home and then journaled that crazy experience and
man.
talked to our district leaders and we're like, "Hey guys, we're alive. Don't worry about it."
Well, how much longer is left on our time?
5 minutes.
Okay. We should probably jump out a minute early.
Sounds good to me.
I've been asked.
Okay. What do you have to say about people thinking about going on a mission?
Do it.
Why?
because you have a witness and you want to share it. If you have a desire to serve, that's a good reason to go. But it's better if you're prepared to serve. I didn't go on a mission right at 18. I actually went to BYU for 2 semesters, hung out with this dude. And then I worked for like a year, and I needed that time to repent of some things and prepare myself. But then I was like anxious to go. I went through my mission journal, and like every entry was just like, oh, I hope I can go. And like that's the urge you need, because there's people that need help, but it's not a place to go to like learn how to want to serve. Like you have to already want that. Like you'll have opportunities to like grow your charity and to practice patience and whatever, but it's gonna be hard, and you gotta be prepared for that. You can't just assume it's all gonna be blessings. And I think from what we're sharing, like it's not all perfect, easy, nice stories. We're sharing some of the gritty, gross stuff that happens on a mission,
but the nice stories aren't all you get out of it. You get the weird stories, you get the gross stories, and you appreciate them for the same reasons.
yeah, I mean, you even look at like Paul's missionary service in the New Testament. I mean, his ship sank. He got sick. People died. I mean, but he was able to like prophesy and convert like the whole Mediterranean area. Like, you're gonna get that contrast, and that's a great part of it. But like, don't go in thinking it's a quick, easy way to just level up in the church, because that's not the point.
You'll still become the leader in the church later on in your life that doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Even if you go on a mission.
Yeah.
You'll still have people upset with you because you don't know what you're doing, and you'll go home at the end of church on Sundays and you'll be like, well, I messed that up. So like you're not
I
going
understand.
to become the best member of the church. You're going to serve.
But it's a good way to learn like what the standards are that the Lord will expect of you when you come home, and it'll also give you a chance to practice mercy when you do become that person that doesn't keep up with the standards.
You also get to experience mercy when, yeah.
Cool. Well, should we call it for this episode?
I think so.
Okay.
Thanks for being our guest,
Thanks for
Tanner.
having me, guys.
Yeah, it's hard to condense 2 years of experience in an hour, but
So
Well,
come
if you
back again.
Yeah, I've got more content. I've got a whole journal full of funny stories and little nuggets, so we're gonna dive into that next time we can.
awesome.
Cool.